Shabbat Shalom family. Our selection today has been in the storm so long. I've been in the storm so long. I've been in the storm so long, yay. I've been in the storm so long. Oh, give me a little time to pray. I've been in the storm so long. Been in the storm so long. Chillin', yeah. Been in the storm so long. Oh, give me a little time to pray. Let me tell you, mama, how I've come along. Oh, give me a little time to pray. With the hung down head and aching heart. Oh, give me a little time to pray. Yeah. Been in the storm so long. Been in the storm so long. Chillin', yeah. Been in the storm so long. Oh, give me a little time to pray. When I get to Zion, I'll take my seat. Oh, give me a little time to pray. I'm gonna cast my crown at Yahshua's feet. Ooh, yeah. Give me a little time to pray, yeah. Been in the storm so long. Been in the storm so long. Chillin', yeah. In the storm so long. Oh, give me little time to pray. Give me little time to pray. Give me little time to pray.
The oracles of the UCI. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received a gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you're sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yeshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as dear children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication, and all uncleanness, or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth. Therefore, let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. You know, as it is written, know of the surety that your seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs. And they will be afflicted when we consider the things that we have gone through for quite some time. We have been in the storm for a very long time. But those things have their own purpose. All of the sons of Noah have to have their opportunity to rule the earth. So when we read in the beginning of the book, we understand that the land of Israel was first called Canaan land. When you examine who Canaan is a Hamite, or the people that we know as Africans. So we then understand that the first rulers of the earth were Africans. So when you deal with that, a lot of times people end up mixing us in with that when they say, you know, hey, we were kings and queens. No, you got the wrong people. We were kings and queens. No, we weren't. Those Africans you're talking about. That's who ruled. When it starts talking about Nimrod, they would always picture Nimrod and show us a Gentile. Nimrod's African. So look at the power to be able to unite and build towers, you know, to do all of these things. This is the power that the Africans once had. And everything that the Euro-Gentiles use for their technology, they steal out of Africa. They cannot make cell phones without the stuff that they get out of Africa. But they make sure that the Africans do not have the ability to manufacture those things. So they get the resources to build it from Africa, but they will not allow them any other chance to advance, because they understand they are holding, that land is holding all the keys to survival. So for the rest of the world, they have to do a lot of underhanded things to try to even off the playing field. Because that is where everything is located. Now, through power, conquest, and capitalism, the powers that be have all but destroyed the earth. During this rulership time of the Gentiles, the earth has been ignored and has been damaged considerably. Now there is a mad dash to reverse the negative effects of a capital first society, a society that ignored all the damaging effects of its profits first lifestyle. When you consider they refused to go away from oil. They instituted things like fracking so that they can get into the earth to get the oil. They know that it completely destroys the ecosystem in that area. I mean, completely destroyed it, but because they are getting money, they allowed it. So it destroyed all of these things, and they kept doing it because they kept making money. See, Yahweh gave us a set of rules, a set of laws. See, that's what happens when people look at the law as some obtrusive thing that they don't want to deal with. Had they operated by the laws, we wouldn't be in this mad dash to all of a sudden save the earth. And you always see these movies where they have to, we got to save the earth from this. We got to save it because y'all done mucked it up. That's why we got to save it. We're not in, understand how, and this is, the thing that people don't want to do. The authority that you have is directly connected to your responsibility when things go wrong. Now, the Euro Gentiles boast in their power that they have here on the earth. Okay, well, the earth messed up. Okay, well, who faulted that? Because the slaves don't have the power to mess it up. The people who make the decisions are the ones who decided, every time somebody came out with an ethanol engine. I'm talking about an engine that can run on corn. They said, kill them people. Them people came up missing. And somehow their invention ended up in the hands of somebody and got put on the shelf. They could have been got rid of oil. They could have been got rid of this stuff. But because they are making money and it is a capitalist society, it is all about that money. Now they're trying to figure out, all right, it's warming. I looked at a program on the Maldives, and they were talking about how it's underwater. They keep losing more and more land. And my elder used to say, man, he said this 10, 12, 13 years ago. Y'all brothers from them islands need to go down there and get y'all folks off them islands because they're going to disappear. That's per book. It says the island shall flee away. Well, what's happening? The water keep rising. So what's happening? The islands are disappearing. When you look up and your yard just got smaller, you got to look straight. Didn't that car fit in the yard before? Why is it hanging out in the street now? What the hell just happened? Your land getting smaller because the water is rising. Louisiana is underwater. Without the elaborate pumping system, New Orleans would be underwater. They have to keep pumping the water and pushing it back out into the ocean. But this global warming, this situation that they have caused is about to come to a head. But it's coming to a head for a reason. All right, let's go to the next graphic. Their climate control initiative is connected to their population control agenda and directs them in deciding how many people they need to remove off of the earth to achieve their goals. The powers that be desire to reduce the carbon footprint on the earth without making any losses of their own. So they have decided that they must wage war on the melanated people on the earth. Now, why the melanated people? Understand something, that with the earth warming, what's happening? It's getting hotter. What happens? The melanated people have an ability to absorb heat. They have the ability to withstand the sun. So what's happening? They then believe that they must even off the playing field. Now, this is not your average person that you're going to see at Walmart. So don't believe that all Gentiles have somehow gotten together to make this decision. They didn't ask anybody else. When they have their little G20 summits and they have all of that, that's where those decisions are made. So the average brother or the average Gentile that you work with, they don't know anything about this. Although they're going to benefit from this, they have not been included in the decision-making process. So Brother Kish, read the things for the next graphic as we go into what melanin is.
Melanin is a natural skin pigment. Hair, skin, and eye color in people and animals mostly depends on the type and amount of melanin they have. Special skin cells called melanocytes make melanin. Aside from determining skin color, the light absorbent melanin.
Stop. The what?
The light absorbent melanin.
Okay.
Protects the DNA against.
Does what?
Protects the DNA.
Okay.
Against UV radiation from the sun, and it is considered a potential candidate in melanoma treatment.
Melanoma is skin cancer. Go ahead.
Melanin is found in several areas of the human body, including skin, where it provides skin color, hair, pupils or irises of the eyes, striae vascularis of the inner ear, areas of the brain.
Areas of the brain. How many people understood that melanin affects your organs in your body, your liver, your kidneys, your brain? So by learning how to manipulate the melanin, it would be an easy way to make sure that certain things only happen to certain people who only have certain characteristics. Go ahead.
The substantia nigra and lucus coeruleus, the medulla and zona recticularis of the adrenal gland.
That was hard to say right there. Reticularis. Reticularis.
I'm gonna need a doctorate after this.
Ooh, that's all right, brother. We here with you. It ain't, it ain't oftentimes you use reticularis in a sentence. All right, so you get a pass. Let's go to the next graphic.
Types of melanin.
Types of melanin. How many people knew that there was more than one type of melanin?
Thought it was one.
Go ahead.
Some of the different types of melanin include eumelanin, pheomelanin, and neuromelanin. Eumelanin is found in the hair, skin, and dark areas around the nipples. It is particularly abundant among black populations.
And understand something, all of this came from most of this came from Euro-Gentile websites. So understand, some of this comes from like WebMD. These are regular things that you yourself can go and find. And this is common knowledge among doctors. But these things are not commonly talked about while we in the room. Go ahead.
It is particularly abundant among black population and provides black and brown pigment to the hair, skin, and eyes.
And the first thing we want to do is change our hair, skin, and eyes.
Yeah.
I remember in school when they came out with them color contacts.
Yeah.
Boy, Jake was going mad over there. You got a sister black as use oil and put green eyes in. It scared the hell out of me. We were going just getting all them color contacts. We trying to change our eyes. Keep reading.
When eumelanin is present only in small amounts, hair may be blonde.
We make the hair blonde on purpose.
Yeah.
According to their website, according to their dictionaries, according to their medical journals, your hair is blonde because it's missing something. And what we say, I want to be missing something. Read, man.
But you got to understand, even with missing, what do you do to make it blonde? You strip it of the color.
Right. I mean, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. It was a long time before I realized bread wasn't white. That ain't the normal color. Go ahead, brother.
Pheomelanin is also found in the hair and skin. This type of melanin provides pink and red colors and is the main pigment found among red-haired individuals.
So, eumelanin, pheomelanin, go ahead.
This type of melanin is not as protective against UV radiation-induced cancer as eumelanin. Neuromelanin is a form of melanin found in different areas of the brain, and loss of this melanin may cause several neurological disorders.
Now, understand that. So when you consider this as the heat increases as the exposure to the sun. Now you start to see, sometimes Yahweh gives you something a little bit earlier and he gives it to you in pieces. Now I understand what the creepy clouds are for. To block that sun because it's causing people issues. But everybody already knows the more melanin you have, the more protected you are from the effects of that sun. So what we did, we made fun of the darkest people. The darkest people are the most protected people around. You ain't gotta make no because you black. We know you dark. Who black in here? That's right. Yeah, we in style now, baby. Hey, calm down, brother. Calm down.
Beat on his chest.
You know what I'm saying? Beat on this black chest. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Come on, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go ahead, man.
Disorders related to melanin from WebMD.com. Albinism. This rare disorder results from very little melanin. People with albinism have white hair, blue eyes, and pale skin, and may have vision problems.
They told us that this was the desired effect. They told us that this is what you want to be. Now, there's a reason why that says from web, so y'all can say, so I don't want nobody sending me no email. You know, Sock said, no, you got a problem? Go talk to WebMD.com. Tell them you have a problem. Don't bring it here. Go ahead.
They should wear sun protection to avoid sun damage. There is no treatment.
There is no treatment. There was something that one of our extended members sent, and it was a BBC News article. And one of the reasons I want to read it, it says the man with super antibodies. Okay, he doesn't. When you get sick with COVID, you automatically then get antibodies. People said they are against natural treatment. Well, if you're against natural treatment, then you're against vaccines. Why? Think about every vaccine and how it was given. You were given a vaccine with a little bit of the virus. What happened? So that your body would build up immunity to the disease. That makes your body activate its natural power even to fight against it by allowing it to happen. This guy, of course he's black, has super antibodies. After they have diluted it 100 times, it still will not allow COVID to infect his blood. Remember when I told y'all it was on the brothers chat and I said, this sounds like I Am Legend. I'm waiting for the movie credits. Well, guess what? It's his blood that they taking every 2 weeks. Poor fella, he gonna let them drain his ass dry. He better stop. He giving his blood and saliva samples every 2 weeks. It is his blood that they trying to figure out. His blood, the corona is a spike protein. His antibodies won't let it stick, so it knocks it out even when diluted 100 times over. Everybody else, they say your antibodies may decrease after 90 days. They still keep testing this dude, and they say, oh, it's other people out there. They just don't know who those people are. Now they done find 10 more after they found him, that they have super antibodies. That's also why a lot of times you try to get that antibody test and they give you hell. They don't want to give you that antibody test. Why? Because if all these people have caught it, then all these people are developing antibodies to fight it on their own. But they want you to get that jab. So, you know, that's very interesting in, you know, once again, we get used to do all of these things while getting zero credit. You know, hey, I hate to hear that dude was found somewhere, you know, and they just got him hooked up like the Matrix, just sucking blood out of him, poor fella. I don't know if I'm telling. They find out, you know, shock, you're immune. Shh. X-nay on the speaker. Don't tell nobody, cause they coming for you. They gonna drain your blood dry. It don't look good. So this is what they doing now every 2 weeks. Well, think about the other people who want to figure that out. See, we end up arguing about how people should do this or how people should do that, and we the brokest ones in the scenario. Bill Gates is pushing the jab, but why not? He invested $50 million in BioNTech and made $550 million from his $50 million investment, and it keeps going up. Why wouldn't he want you to take it? He made $550 million. And we got $16.75, and we out here arguing. You should. I don't want nobody to stand by me. If they ain't got it, and they ain't get rid of it. And you the brokest person in the scenario. This dude made $500 million off of one investment. Of course he wants you to take it. If I made shoes, I'm gonna want you to wear my shoes. Okay. Well, he invested in that shop. He wants you to do that because it's gonna drive up his stock portfolio. And we the ones arguing about it. You don't find, I have not yet ran into any Gentile that tried to argue with me over that jab. Every argument I got into was somebody who looked like me. You should take it. These people don't spend all kind of money, and it is safe. It is safe. How the hell you know it's safe? They haven't published one study. You are the guinea pig. It's safe. It's safe. Hey man, if that's your decision, go ahead. But I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I don't push my beliefs on anybody else. You believe in taking that jab. That's your personal decision. Why the hell you got to try to push that on me? I don't grab my book and try to ram it down your throat. I don't try to make you eat my book. But if you keep coming up to me, you gonna eat this book.
Okay, come on.
Go ahead, bro.
That was it.
That was it right there. Go to the next one. We should be going to Leviticus 13. That's how Yahweh lets you know who to deal with. They won't leave you alone. You trying to have peace. But sooner or later, you'll realize that you're going to have a piece of their tail because they keep messing with you. And you're like, you know what? It's time for you to eat this book. And you kept trying to be nice. Now I'm going to have to go ahead and tell you, you worship the adversary of the devil. Now let's go ahead and get into it now. Since you keep, barking in front of me, trying to push some poison that they done got from aborted fetuses and every other kind of thing, and you want to push that, let's go ahead and get into it. It's like the whole thing that you have with the head covering. You ain't got to worry about talking to them people. They're going to approach you. That's how Yahweh show you who to deal with. They have a problem with you. Go ahead, brother. Let's Leviticus 13. Let's start at verse 1.
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe and Aaron, saying, when a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, a scab, or bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh like the plague of leprosy, then he shall be brought unto Aaron the priest, or unto one of his sons the priest. And the priest shall look on the plague in the skin of the flesh. And when the hair in the plague is turned white, and the plague in sight be deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a plague of leprosy, and the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. If the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and in the sight be not deeper, than the skin, and the hair thereof be not turned white, then the priest shall shut up him that has the plague 7 days.
So what happens if the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and the hair thereof has turned white? That hair has lost melanin. Go ahead.
And the priest shall look on him the 7th day. And behold, if the plague in his sight be at a stay, and the plague spread not in the skin, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days more. And the priest shall look on him again the 7th day. And behold, if the plague be somewhat dark, and the plague spread not in the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is but a scab, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the scab spread much abroad in the skin, after that he has been seen of the priest for his cleansing, he shall be seen of the priest again. And if the priest see that behold, the scab spreads in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprosy. When the plague of leprosy is in a man, then he shall be brought unto the priest. And the priest shall see him, and behold, if the rising be white in the skin, and it have turned the hair white, and there be quick raw flesh in the rising, it is an old leprosy in the skin of his flesh. And the priest shall pronounce him unclean, and shall not shut him up, for he is unclean. And if a leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that has the plague from his head even to his foot, wheresoever the priest looks, then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that has the plague. It is all turned white, he is clean.
I need you to slow down and read that again.
Verse 13. Then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that has the plague. It is all turned white, he is clean.
Okay, go ahead.
But when raw flesh appears in him, he shall be unclean. And the priest shall see the raw flesh and pronounce him to be unclean. For the raw flesh is unclean, it is a leprosy. Or if the raw flesh turn again and be changed unto white, he shall come unto the priest. And the priest shall see him, and behold, if the plague be turned into white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean that has the plague. He is clean. The flesh also, in which even the skin thereof was a boil and is healed, and in the place of the boil there be a white rising or a bright spot, white and somewhat reddish, and it be showed to the priest, and if, when the priest see it, behold, it be in sight lower than the skin, and the hair thereof be turned white, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy broken out of the boil. But if the priest look on it, and, behold, there be no white hairs therein, and if it be not lower than the skin, but be somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And if it spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague. But if the bright spot stay in his place, and spread not, it is a burning boil, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. Or if there be any flesh in the skin whereof there is a hot burning, and the quick flesh that burneth have a white bright spot, somewhat reddish or white, then the priest shall look upon it. And behold, if the hair in the bright spot be turned white, and it be in sight deeper than the skin, it is a leprosy broken out of the burning. Wherefore the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is the plague of leprosy. But if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hair in the bright spot, and it be no lower than the other skin, but be somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And the priest shall look upon him the 7th day, and if it be spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is the plague of leprosy. And if the bright spot stay in his place, and spread not in the skin, but it be somewhat dark, it is a rising of the burning, and the priest shall pronounce him clean, for it is an inflammation of the burning. If a man or woman have a plague upon the head or the beard, then the priest shall see the plague, and, behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry scald, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. And if the priest look on the plague of the scald, and, behold, it be not in sight deeper than the skin, and that there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall shut up him that has the plague of the scald 7 days. And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the plague, and, behold, if the scald spread not, and there be in it no yellow hair, and the scald be not in the insight deeper than the skin, he shall be shaven, but the scald shall be not shaved. And the priest shall shut up him that has the scald 7 days more. And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the scald, and, behold, if the scald be not spread in the skin, nor be in sight deeper than the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the scald spread much in the skin after his cleansing, then the priest shall look on him, and behold, if the scald be spread into the skin, the priest shall not seek for yellow hair, he is unclean. But if the scald be in his sight at a stay, and that there is black hair grown up therein, the scald is healed, he is clean, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. If a man also or a woman have in the skin of their flesh bright spots, even white bright spots, then the priest shall look, and behold, if the bright spots in the skin of their flesh be darkish white, it is a freckled spot that grows in the skin, he is clean. And the man whose hair is fallen off his head, he is bald, yet is he clean. And he that has his hair fallen off from the part of his head toward his face, he is forehead bald, yet is he clean.
Right, so don't be looking at no bald head dude talking about he unclean. Go ahead.
And if there be in the bald head or bald forehead a white reddish sore, it is a leprosy sprung up in his bald head or his bald forehead. Then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the rising of the sore be white reddish in the bald head or in his bald forehead, as the leprosy appears in the skin of the flesh, he is a leprous man. He is unclean. The priest shall pronounce him utterly unclean. His plague is in his head. And the leper in whom the plague is, his clothes shall be rent, and his head bare, and he shall put a covering upon his upper lip, and shall cry, unclean, unclean.
Now wait a minute. Now I want you to slow down. Let's go back right there. Let's read that again.
Verse 45.
All right.
And the leper in whom the plague is, his clothes shall be rent, and his head bare.
So he's not supposed to have a head covering on. So them purple dudes trying to treat you like a leprous man or something. See, his head need to be bare so you can see if something wrong with him. Go ahead.
And he shall put a covering upon his upper lip, and shall cry, unclean, unclean.
Right, that's the one everybody before they get close to him. Go ahead.
All the days wherein the plague shall be in him, he shall be defiled. He's unclean. He shall dwell alone. Without the camp shall his habitation be.
All right. Go to the next graphic and read that writing there, brother. I'm so glad we're off that graphic. It made me itch. When I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, let us hurry up and get off of this. Good God Almighty. Go ahead, bro.
Parkinson's
graphic
disease.
number 10 now. Go ahead.
Parkinson's disease. In Parkinson's disease, neuromelanin in your brain drops as brain cells in an area called the substantia nigra die.
Right. The same thing that we read earlier. The neuromelanin, when this drops, you then have brain disorders. So understand how important it is. And they have like a very expensive books about melanin and even how to break down melanin. Why would anybody study how to break down melanin and why? Melanin is in animals. It's the thing that gives an animal a dark stripe. It's in all of these things. And as we see, it's the thing that gives us, brown eyes, things like that. We want other things. See? We turn around and wish for birth defects. Check that out. Bow legs is a birth defect. Folks be sitting there, I hope my kid have light colored eyes and bow legs. Bow legs is a birth defect. Your kid's legs supposed to be straight. Who turns around and asks for a kid with birth defects? If that happens, it happens. But who asks for it? Of people who don't understand. Go ahead, bro.
In the studies of melanin, that's why you look at your solar panels. You ever seen white solar panels?
Nope.
Because they understand absorption.
Absorb. You realize in painting, black is the only color that includes every other color in the spectrum. Mm-hmm. Do you realize if you have black, you can make everything, including white? Mm-hmm. If you have white as a base color, you can not make anything else. It will always be whatever you mix into it. So if you add yellow into white, it becomes yellow. You add red into white, it becomes red. That doesn't happen with black. It takes over everything else. That's why don't nobody want you in their neighborhood. Okay? Because you just come in and take over everything. Now they got, Kool-Aid at the tennis court. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you in there. Because you take over everything. You start golfing, now you got a boom ball, now you got woofers on the damn golf cart. Come on, man. Go ahead, brother.
Normally, the amount of neuromelanin in the brain increases as we get older. Hearing loss. Melanin seems to play a role in hearing. Early studies show a link between too little melanin and hearing loss or deafness. Mm-hmm. While it is true that melanin production in the skin can be increased by tanning...
How many people knew that? That the people that are tanning are increasing their melanin by staying in the sun. So then now we find, wait a minute, there are other ways to increase melanin? Interesting. Go ahead.
Remember how dark Ric Flair used to get?
Yeah. But later on, he started looking like leather. I had a coat that looked just like Ric Flair. That's how catch up with you after a while. You can't stop doing that. Go ahead. But we're going to let the medical professionals tell you that. So you won't say Sock said that. Go ahead.
It's important to remember the biological function of melanin and why tanning can be dangerous.
Okay, see? Go ahead.
During sun exposure, harmful UV rays from the sun penetrate through the skin and begin to damage the DNA in the skin cells. Natural melanin levels are primarily decided by genetics and generally determine one's hair, skin, and eye color.
So now we're about to get into the nitty-gritty of the situation. You may increase melanin by staying in the sun, but it's going to eventually damage your DNA. The only way to really increase melanin is decided by genetics. Keep reading.
In response to this cellular damage, the body attempts to produce more melanin to protect the cells.
More melanin to protect the cells. Go ahead.
This increase in melanin production is what creates the signature tan on the skin. However, once the skin begins to tan, this is an indication that cellular damage has already occurred. The amount of melanin produced through tanning, whether from the sun or any other UV light exposure, isn't enough to protect the skin cells from further damage. Over time, this cellular damage can potentially lead to skin cancer.
All right, so now let's go to Songs of Solomon, chapter 1. See, it's important to know why you're being attacked, so that there's certain things that we have to go over. Because what'll happen is, especially with this large anti-information campaign that seems to be floating around, anytime something comes out that seems to not agree with the status quo, it is labeled as misinformation. Then people say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Song of Solomon, chapter 1, and let's read verses 1 through 6.
The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is better than wine. Because of the Savior of your good ointments, your name is as ointment poured forth. Therefore do the virgins love you. Draw me, we will run after you. The king has brought me into his chambers. We will be glad and rejoice in you. We will remember your love more than wine. The upright love you. I am black, but comely.
I am black, but beautiful. Go ahead.
O you daughters of Jerusalem.
O you daughters of Jerusalem, I am black, but I am beautiful. Go ahead.
As the tents of Kedar.
Right. Hamites. Go ahead.
As the curtains of Solomon.
Now, then we get into the situation of how she got that black. Go ahead.
Look not upon me because I am black, because the sun has looked upon me.
Right. She didn't get no tan. She got blacker. Now, see, I've heard people read this. I heard a Gentile televangelist with a PhD change that to I am black to I am tan. He didn't even believe the lie, because he was looking around strange when he said, I am tan but comely. What the hell you keep looking for? He looking for the person that know he was lying. And all they had to do is look down at the book. Nah, my book say I'm black. My book don't say I'm tan. They reading it. And he straight lies. On national television. This guy has television shows, he has radio programs, he has media things all over the earth. And he sat right there and told that bold-faced, flat-footed, pigeon-toed lie. And he was right on the verse, reading it, and sat there and told that lie. Go ahead.
My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards, but mine own vineyard have I not kept.
This explains the entire scenario of what happens when you have melanin. Then you don't get into a situation where you are being damaged. You get into a situation where your body automatically starts protecting you more because you're there. We are suffering here in this land because we don't have enough sun. And now, everybody working inside, we still ain't getting no sun. And not getting it, we have other things that are breaking down in our body. While other people may have cancer because they're in the sun, we get cancer because we ain't in it. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 30. See, this is that thing where people say, well, you know, it's peaceful. Let all people gather together. But what works for one group of people doesn't work for the other group of people. So we're just going to get together and then let one thing kill one group and let it help the other group? No. The people need to deal with what helps them. Isaiah chapter 30, and let's start that at verse 1.
Woe to the rebellious children, says Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me. And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. That walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. For his princes were at Zoan, and his ambassadors came to Hanes. They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be an help nor profit, but a shame and also a reproach. The burden of the beast of the south, into the land of trouble and anguish, from whence come the young and old lion, the viper and fiery flying serpent. They will carry their riches upon the shoulders of young asses, and their treasures upon the bunches of camels, to a people that shall not profit them. For the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still. Right. In a lot of situations, we have gone onto other places as a people. They say, hey, Liberia was going to be, the new black man's place. And it didn't turn out that way. It didn't turn out that way at all. Yahweh has said that the children of Israel are going to go through some things, and we need to understand that those things are not going to end until we have served every bit of their punishment. So do understand, when you go somewhere and you pack those bags, make sure you keep an extra bag for the curses.
Because they going to follow you. He said, what's this? Oh, these are my underwear. What's in that bag? My curses. Your curses? Yeah, I'm an Israelite. Everywhere I go, these curses go with me. It don't matter where I go. I can go and go in Hawaii and be beautiful sand beaches and everything. And then I pull out a little beach chair, and right beside me, them curses like, well, I'm gonna sit out here too. What we doing? You ain't getting out of this. I don't care where you go. Wherever you go, there you is. You ain't getting out of this. It's following you. Because you are Israel. You got the holy name of your God upon you. You ain't running from this. If you're going to deal with the glory of Israel, you also got to deal with the punishment. You can't have one without the other. Go ahead, bro.
Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of Yahweh.
Right. And it is the law of Yahweh that keeps us in our rightful place. So then the adversary and all his minions have done everything to keep us from following his law. Go ahead.
Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit.
And them the people that we like. We like them smooth, slick talkers that don't do nothing but lie all day. We love it. They make us feel good. But it's the person that tells you the truth that gets under your skin. That's the one that's giving you an opportunity at repenting. That's the one that's giving you an opportunity at being able to stand justly before Yahweh. That smooth liar is going to get you killed. They telling you everything you do is fine. They telling you, no, don't worry about that. Man, don't worry about them. Yeah, man, do this. Right. And when Yahshua get here, you going to regret listening to him. Go ahead.
Get you out of the way. Turn aside out of the path. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore thus says the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon, therefore this lawlessness shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. And he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessels that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it a sherd to take fire from the hearth, or to take water withal out of the pit. For thus says the Adonai, the Holy One of Israel, in returning and rest shall you be saved, in quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. And you would not. But you said, no, for we will flee upon horses. Therefore shall you flee, and we will ride upon the swift. Therefore shall they that pursue you be swift. 1,000.
So check that out. The faster you get, the faster he make the thing that's chasing you. You get 500 horsepower, he get him 510. Go ahead.
1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one. At the rebuke of 5 shall you flee, till you be left as a beacon upon the top of a mountain, and as an ensign on an hill. And therefore will Yahweh wait, that he may be gracious unto you, and therefore will he be exalted, that he may have mercy upon you. For Yahweh is a El of judgment. Blessed are all they that wait for him. For the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem. You shall weep no more. He will be very gracious unto you at the voice of your cry. When he shall hear it, he will answer you. And though the Adonai give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not your teachers be removed into a corner any more, but your eyes shall see your teachers, and your ears shall hear a word behind you, saying, this is the way, walk you in it, when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left. You shall defile also the covering of your graven images of silver, and the ornament of your molten images of gold. You shall cast them away as a menstruous cloth. You shall say unto it, get you hence.
Will we do that?
Man, it's gold.
You know, I mean, I know it's a cross, but it's 14 karat.
You know, I mean, come on now, sure. Come on now. I mean, it's 14 karat. I guess it's encrusted. Yeah, he said you about to be encrusted. Go ahead, bro. All right.
Then shall he give the rain of your seed, that you shall sow the ground withal, and bread of increase of the earth, and it shall be fat and plenteous. In that day shall your cattle feed in large pastures. The oxen likewise and the young asses that air the ground shall eat clean provender, which has been winnowed with the shovel and with the fan. And there shall be upon every high mountain and upon every high hill rivers and streams of waters in the day of the great slaughter, when the towers fall. Moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun.
Now here's where the things get interesting. Go ahead.
And the light of the sun shall be sevenfold.
The light of the sun shall be 7 times what it is. And they already blocking it now. And the sun just stretching. It ain't got to sevenfold yet. And they already panicking. So they panicking now. Understand. And what is all of this connected to? See, this is connected to the redemption of the children of Israel. If the children of Israel are already in the land, what the hell they need to redeem them for? What do you need to go through all this for? They already there. Moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun. Do you understand that? The light of the sun gives us daytime. So then we got the light of the moon. My brother just did a separation between light and darkness. Mm-hmm. Now it's going to be a separation between light and more light. Check that out. So it's a night where it's nightish. It's nighttime. But it's still light out here. Go ahead, bro.
You know, I was going to touch on that too, because at that point, will you be able to see the stars?
Interesting. Hey, and this is what the host, the nations worship. The nations worship the host of heaven. If they can't see their stars, we might be in trouble. Have you seen my God? I was waiting for it to get dark so I can worship him, and I can't see him. I don't know what to tell you. You have to consider that. The moon gets its light from the sun. So as the sun gets lighter, it's going to lighten up the moon. But when you talk about the moon 7 times brighter than what it is, consider sometimes you ever during a full moon felt like a light was on out your window and it made you look, and you look and you're like, man, that's the moon. There ain't no light in my backyard. That's the moon. Is so well lit right now that it is lighting up my backyard. Multiply that times 7. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, priest Eli.
You know what? A couple of days ago, I don't know if anybody saw that, where they had a solar flare that was supposed to come.
Did we cut on the mic back there, please? Go ahead.
There was a solar flare that they had that they showed a couple of days ago. I think it was around their Halloween time that it was supposed to come towards the earth.
It was that same Saturday night.
Yeah. So
a solar flare.
Yeah.
Hey man, they have the sun has solar storms, and if it have a storm good enough, it will knock out every bit electronic, all this fancy stuff we got going on. If it's strong enough, no electronic device that we have is going to work for a while. And y'all know we don't go 5 steps without looking at the phone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check. And don't let somebody come in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey man, you messed up my account. I was about to check my phone. What we gonna do when that damn thing don't work? We so used to it, we still gonna carry it, ain't got no charger. You know what I'm saying? You know how when you used to check in, you know what I'm saying, the time, but you ain't got on your watch, you still be doing like this? But you ain't got no watch on, you know what I'm saying? So, but you keep looking at your arm. Ain't nothing on that arm. You done checked it 3 times, okay? You forgot to put on your watch. Stop looking at your wrist. It's not going to magically appear back on your arm. It's at your house. Okay? Stop looking at it. Habit. We're going to do the same thing, looking for these damn phone. Go ahead, bro.
You know, I passed the church the other day, and on their little thing it says, of course they put the Lord. Do you look at the Lord's book more or Facebook? I'm like, boy, there you go.
Yeah, well, I can answer that one for you. That's why when I got my when I got another phone, I decided I wouldn't put none of that stuff on it. I wouldn't put none of that stuff on it. You go on there for 5 minutes, you on there for 2 hours and 5 minutes. And then, what have you done for Yahweh? But see, this is where we trick ourselves. Well, see, I'm doing this for Yahweh. Right. Right. I know people that think they went into crack houses for Yahweh. I'm helping all the crack infested people. Right. See, I smoke crack, you know what I'm saying, in the name of Yahweh. Man, get the hell out of here, man. Read, man.
Verse 26. Moreover, the light of the sun shall be as the light of the light of the moon, shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun shall be sevenfold, as the light of 7 days, in the day that Yahweh binds up the breach of his people. And heals the stroke of their wound.
Right. So this thing is inevitable. They can try and change it all they want. They can make as many creepy clouds as they want. But it comes a day when Yahweh is going to bind the breach that he has caused within his people. And when he's going to heal their wound. They're going to have to deal with this. So you can make as many creepy clouds as you want to. They ain't going to stop that sevenfold sun. It ain't going to stop it. And we got to the point we don't even remember what clouds look like. Folks don't know that them damn things that's above us ain't clouds. One cloud don't cover a whole city. The hell kind of cloud is that? We ain't even got sense enough to know that that's not even clouds over our head. Go ahead, bro.
You know, earlier when we read about the tanning and how it can change your DNA, and we hear what they're talking about, this jab can do the same thing.
Exactly.
So what does that do for us?
Exactly.
Taking it when this thing gets sevenfold and they messing with your DNA.
Exactly. So is somebody trying to alter your DNA first? So it can even off some things? Remember, you should be the first one to get it. I mean, normally we don't really care about y'all, and we don't normally send, help. In storms or whenever you call 911, we always come to you last. But you know what? This particular incident, we want you to get it first. And all of a sudden, let me tell you something. When all of a sudden people who have been mean to you forever, all of a sudden say, you know what? I got this brand new special serum, and I want to give it to you first. You don't give it to me. Yeah, I won't give it to you. Why the hell you won't give it to me? You ain't been wanting to give me nothing first for a long time. Hell, I got my house after 5,000 other people got their house first. You ain't want to give me no house first. You ain't want to give me no car first. You ain't want to give me no credit first. You ain't want to give me no health care first. Now all of a sudden you want to give me a serum first? I'm supposed to be cool with that? You ain't never want to give me nothing first. Nah. Go ahead.
I mean, just something as simple as giving the natives blankets.
Mm-hmm. It was a gift, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You gonna be so warm. Ooh, you gonna be so warm. Woo! I can feel it now. Yep. And 2 days later, what is that? Are you itching? Tomahawk. You itching, Tomahawk? Yes, Dances with Wolves, I am itching too. Right. It was a gift. All gifts ain't worth taking. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Verse 27. Behold, the name of Yahweh comes from far, burning with his anger, and the burden thereof is heavy. His lips are full of indignation, and his tongue as a devouring fire. And his breath as an overflowing stream shall reach to the midst of the neck, to sift the nations with the sieve of vanity. And there shall be a bridle in the jaws of the people, causing them to err.
So they ain't gonna be able to straighten out. That's what people don't see. The part of judgment is after you have ignored the opportunity to repent so many times, he then puts that bridle in your jaw. Bridle is what you put in the mouth of a horse, and you direct the horse. This huge, strong animal that is 1,000 times stronger than you will ever be. And that's the strongest man. But once it's controlled by a bit and a string once it's broken. It's a bit in his mouth and a little string. And when you pull it, he stop. You pull it to the left, he go to the left. You pull it to the right, he go to the right. He is controlled. That's what it's talking about. You keep ignoring your opportunity to repent, and now you cannot repent. Now he ain't gonna let you. And all we gotta do, look back to Egypt. What happened? He would not let Pharaoh repent. Why? Hey, you've been doing this for a couple hundred years now. No. I'm gonna bring every last one of these plagues on you. Y'all know what we do. We gonna wanna repent after plague 1. All it take us is just let frogs come in our house. It's a done deal. All your woman get, you need to fix this, Eliel. These damn frogs is everywhere. Your woman gonna make you repent. Yahweh, please. Get these frogs out of here before she kill me. Yahweh said, you ain't repenting. No, you done it so long, I ain't letting you repent. You about to get every last one of these plagues. See? And we don't understand. Seek Yahweh where he may be found. Keep ignoring the opportunity to repent. And then when them plagues come, they're going to come one after another, after another, after another. And he going to keep helping you so you can get back up. He going to knock you down. Get back up. Get back up. Remember when that dude decided he was going to call Muhammad Ali Cassius Clay? After he had done changed his name, he said, man, my name Muhammad Ali. I'm going to call you Cassius because that's what your mama's name. Call you Cassius. It seemed funny before the fight. Wasn't funny during the fight. Because he wasn't trying to knock him out. The dude fall. And he'd be like, get back up, get back up, get back up. No, I'm not done. Back up. No. You ain't going out. You ain't going out. Y'all give him some water. Give him some water. He's thirsty. No. It's punishment time. Right. No. That's going to be too easy just to knock you out. No, we're finna stretch this knockout. It's going to be knockout. No. We're finna stretch this. Y'all would do the same thing. No, you ain't finna go down. Oh, that's what kids were talking about. Oh, you gonna, them cowards commit suicide. Pow! Shoot yourself in the head and it's over. Yahweh said, man gonna seek after death and can't find it. So, they gonna seek, you know what, I just want to be done with this. Pow! And everybody gonna be looking at it. Hey, how that hole get in your head? He gonna still be living with a hole right there. Yeah, man, I tried to kill myself, but Yahweh wouldn't let me die, so he gonna make me go through this punishment, right? So now you just got to go through it now with your head to the side because you done blew half of it off. Right. Right. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 29. You shall have a song as in the night when a holy solemnity is kept, and gladness of heart, as when one goes with a pipe to come into the mountain of Yahweh, to the mighty one of Israel. And Yahweh shall cause his glorious voice to be heard, and shall show the lighting down of his arm with his indignation of his anger.
Right, and people tell you, God is love. It sounds so sweet on Sunday morning worship service. God is love. Yet, verse 27, behold, the name of Yahweh cometh with fire, burning with his anger, and the burden thereof is heavy. His lips are full of indignation, and his tongue as a devouring fire, and his breath as an overflowing stream shall reach to the midst of the neck to sift the nations with the sieve of vanity, and there shall be a bridle in the jaws of the people, causing them to err. God is love. Right. You showing up with flowers and the dude in front of you got a machine gun. You in the wrong fight. Go ahead.
And with the flame of a devouring fire, with scattering and tempest and hailstones. For through the voice of Yahweh shall the Assyrian be beaten down, which smote with a rod. And in every place where the grounded staff shall pass, which Yahweh shall lay upon him, it shall be with tabrets and harps, and in battles of shaking will he fight with it. For Tophet is ordained of old. Yes, for the king is prepared. He has made it deep and large. The pile thereof is fire and much wood. The breath of Yahweh, like a stream of brimstone, does kindle it.
Right. The fire is for punishment. Let's go to the next graphic. Should we be at graphic 14? I'm going to read this one, Kitchen, and you do the next one. So after doing some basic research about melanin, we see that the most effective way to get it is through genetics. In other words, procreate with someone who already has melanin. If you notice, there has been an enormous uptick in multiracial relationships being shown on television. Most people believe that this is because the new generation is more tolerable of these relationships than previous generations were. We are not speaking for or against these relationships, but rather stating that there is a hidden agenda as to why they are being presented to us en masse. We must remember that in the past, the majority of the public were not comfortable with the public display of such relationships. So let's go to the next graphic, and this is dated June 3rd, 2013. Now, this is right after we had gotten a multi-racial president, a presidential family. So look at what was also being pushed. Go ahead, read that, brother.
By Scott Stump from Today.com. A new Cheerios commercial featuring a biracial family has prompted a debate over race in America after drawing a host of ugly remarks online.
Right. They put out this multiracial family in this commercial and people went ballistic. Not our people. Okay, understand that. Go ahead.
The commercial features a biracial daughter asking her white mother if Cheerios are good for your heart, and then dumping a batch on her black father's chest to playfully help his heart while he is sleeping on the couch. Some of the reaction was so offensive that General Mills, the maker of Cheerios, disabled the comments section on the YouTube video of the commercial. General Mills has announced it will not be pulling the ad due to any controversy.
So they got so ugly about the Cheerios commercial, and I don't know how many of y'all remember, but I remember very distinctly. It got ugly about this commercial because they did not like the showing of a black man with a white woman. They were upset and went ballistic. Okay? But what was this the beginning of? See? So remember, the way to get genetically get melanin, the best way is through genetics. Meaning you got to procreate with somebody who got it. And once it's in there, it's in there. You got to consider some of the sports stars who go to college. They get indoctrinated. What happened? All of these brothers then end up marrying Gentiles. Then their kids end up marrying Gentiles. Well, what's happening? Melanin is now introduced into that gene pool. Go ahead.
The comments that were made, in our view, were not family friendly. And that was really the trigger of us, to pull them off, said Camille Gibson, VP Marketing for General Mills. On Today, Monday, this commercial was the mainstream introduction into the programming of the minds of the younger generation. This introduction didn't stop there. It eventually added other displays that were previously kept out of public view.
All right, now as we go to the next graphic, here's where it gets interesting. It's not the whole debate of the multiracial relationship. What you have to look at is how are the relationships being displayed that are black. Go ahead.
The television show 911, which is executive produced by Angela Bassett, showcases the imagery that Hollywood desires to portray about marriage and family, Angela Bassett's black character is romantically connected to Peter Krause's character, who is white.
All right. Multiracial relationship. It is shown as productive. Go ahead.
Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, white, is romantically connected to Kenneth Choi's character, Asian.
It's shown as a productive relationship. Go ahead.
When we examine the all-black couples in the show, we find they are in same-sex relationships.
Now, why the hell is that? So now you got the multiracial relationships. They can produce children. Look at the ones on the bottom. They ain't never going to produce children. A man and a man ain't going to produce no child, and a woman ain't going to produce no child. Understand what's happening here. Understand what the programming is and why it's being displayed to us in that manner. So it would be one thing if we just saw a whole lot of interracial relationships. That's not where the problem lies. When it comes down to black relationships, they are non-productive. You will never have any production from a woman and a woman. You will never have any production from a man and a man. But these are the only all black couples. This is what Hollywood is showing us. Go ahead.
Aisha Hines, black, is romantically connected to Tracy Thomas, black, and Rockman Dunbar's character, black, is romantically connected to Lamont Bird's character, black.
Now, let me go into just how foul this part is. When you go into Rockman Dunbar's character, who's romantically connected with the other one, they got two manly looking brothers. See, these ain't these not you typical, inside of the arms. You understand? All right. So understand what you got here. Now, Rockman Dunbar character used to be married to Angela Bassett. So check this out. He has no desire for this beautiful black woman, but he desires this manly man over here. This is what our children are being presented with. This is the imagery that is being given to us. So when you examine this on a relationship scale, you look, the bottom part of this graphic, non-productive. The top part of this graphic, productive. What do you think just happened in the minds of those people? Population control is absolutely correct, my brother. That is exactly what it is. Now go back to the rhinestone cowboy dude, the little black dude that did his Nas X. He did triple X. With all the video with the prison scene with a bunch of, and I'm talking about they got their shirts tied up in a knot. Over here, all in pink, he got 20 or 30 prison dudes twerking. You put that imagery out, once again, population control. All the black men who could procreate, they're in jail looking at each other. And these things help promote it. Go ahead, bro.
When you look at it, and one of the executive producers is Angela Bassett.
I put that in there for a reason.
Now, I was listening to Dave Chappelle on my way back here, and Dave Chappelle was talking about how somebody was angry with him because of him doing a little skit 25 minutes about Bill Cosby. Mm-hmm. And he's like, look, y'all want to harp on all the negative stuff, but let's weigh the scales and look at all the positive stuff this man has done. He said, do y'all understand that when he put together the Cosby Show, he hired psychologists to make sure that there was no negative images of black people in that? Mm-hmm. He said, man, I wouldn't have went that far. So what's going on here when you got somebody like Angela Bassett? What are you doing to your own people?
Mm-hmm. There's a reason why I put that she was the executive producer. Because some of this stuff you got to search for on down the line, and you look and it throws you off. Wow. So you was in charge of this imagery. You wasn't just a willing participant. You were helping to create it. Interesting. Go ahead.
So the interracial relationships are displayed as stable and capable of reproduction, while the relationships containing so-called African Americans or non-reproductive same-sex relationships, as no offspring can come from these unions.
Right. So then if we consider that, we have to consider what the agenda is. Let's go to Exodus chapter 1. See, I know in the beginning people just thought, hey, he's going to, say something about, interracial couples. Oh, no. That's not where the problem is, what we're dealing with here. What they have done is shown us one thing on one side of the spectrum and then given us something altogether different on the side of the spectrum that is a black on black relationship. If you want to show one thing, that's fine. That's what you do. But why anything that has to do with us has to be on the opposite scale? No, that is a clear effort to put forth some kind of thought process. Exodus chapter 1, and let's start that at verse 7.
And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly.
That's why everybody got to show y'all the same-sex relationships, because y'all multiply too damn much. You need to understand that there is an agenda. And it ain't new about you abundantly multiplying. This ain't new. This is in the beginning of the book. Go ahead.
I mean, you think about it. Isn't that what Netanyahu did to them Ethiopians that they brought over? Made sure they didn't multiply?
Came over there and gave them sterilization shots. Welcome, Beta Israel. Take this shot. How the hell you welcome me by giving me a shot to make sure I do not reproduce? So I keep telling people, and if they knew that was in the shot, what else was in the shot? So they telling us one thing. How we know we're getting the same shot that they giving over in Buckhead? They told you it was the same shot. That don't mean that's what it is. And how we know it ain't doing something else? Do y'all know after World War II, they gave the people shots to make them procreate?
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all know that? They had lost so many people. When them soldiers got ready to come home, they turned around and had all of their wives come to the doctor. They all got these shots. I used to wonder why my neighborhood growing up was so awesome. All my uncles, all of them had kids in the neighborhood all the same age. And it went in rows. All levels of my uncle, all of them had a bunch of kids the same age. Then there was a whole bunch my brother's age. And then a whole bunch. What happened? Them shots. Everybody got pregnant at the same time. 27 kids in one neighborhood. What the hell going on here? Hey, who are you? I'm Bebe's kid. What the hell is Bebe? What the hell is Bebe? Right. So they can give you them shots to make you multiply. And they can also give you them shots to make sure that your baby don't come out. Go ahead, brother.
And multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them.
Now I want you to remember that word, wisely. Okay? Go ahead.
Lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falls out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters.
So the first thing to do was to work them to death. Y'all know we got the hardest jobs on the planet, right? I know we make some money, and we're able to get some decent things. But y'all do know, when you look around, do understand that there's certain jobs that only a black dude get. Like they fire one black dude and you look back and there's another black dude standing there. Why? Because that job too damn hard for anybody else. Understand, when they went to go, when they got this place, they had to find somebody who could work the fields, who could deal with being in the sun. Hey, they knew where to go. Let's go get those people that stayed in the sun and built those pyramids for the Egyptians. Let's go get those people. We know that they can be in the sun all day and nothing happens to them. Go ahead.
Therefore they set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
So the plan didn't work. So they got to come up with another plan. So we thought if we worked the hell out of them, they'll be so tired, they'll go home and go to sleep. But apparently when we got home, we didn't go to sleep. Go ahead, bro.
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service, wherein they made them serve, was with rigor. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
Okay, all right. So how do you, if you are trying to control the population of a group of people, you kill off the male seed. You use the woman as incubators for your own babies. All right. But you kill off the male. Now, think about the graphic that we had in the 911. You got 2 women and then you got 2 men. You are effectively killing off the male seed without physically having to throw it in the water. If you make all of them prisoners and throw them in jail, you get all the male reproductive seeds in an area where it cannot get to any sisters and procreate. You are killing off the male seed. Go ahead.
But the midwives feared Elohim and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have you done this thing and have saved the men children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. Therefore Elohim dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared Elohim, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying...
Now, so what happens? When the first plan didn't work, he went to another plan. Go ahead.
Every son that is born you shall cast into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive.
Right. So to this day, there's a schism between black men and black women. And black women, a lot of them will say, you know, why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? Why is it so hard for you to do this? Not understanding that there's a war against the man. He's not warring against the sister the same way he's warring against the man. And if you don't understand that, then you can't effectively treat, you know, this man the way he needs to be treated. You don't understand. He done went to war when he leave that house. They ain't aiming to war with the sisters. They have the same plan that they had before. Kill off the man, save the women, children. We'll use them later. Go ahead.
You know, you talk about going off to war with the man, and the man will set a sister at the front, and you end up warring with her.
Yes. Yes. Hey man, some of the hardest times I have is dealing with, go to a bank and let a sister be the teller. You ain't getting that money today.
Let me see your check. I'm talking about all that.
What the hell are you doing? You trying to blow off the letters off of? What the hell are you doing? Cash my check.
Sir, what you do for a living?
Why the hell I need to answer that to you?
Sir, you get paid this much? No, I don't believe this. Let me talk to the man. Can y'all come to the front, please?
Let a sister be there. She got that money like it's hers. Like it's gonna come out of her check. Hey man, Cat, I got an account here. Why you going through all this? Everybody gotta come look at your check. The damn custodian over there looking at your check. Man, you sweep the damn floor. Sweep the floor, put my check down. Let's go to Genesis chapter 34. The hell the custodian need to look at my check for? And you'll think that's normal until you go on the other side of town and go to the bank. Hello, sir. How may I help you? Would you like to cash that, sir? Well, yes, ma'am, I would. Would you like hundreds, 50s, or 20s? Damn, I get a choice? Damn. I'm going to drive all the way over here next time. Right. Genesis chapter 34. Let's read, start at verse 1.
And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. And his soul claved unto Dinah.
Look, we always want to go to somebody else's country. We always want to go to somebody else's land. Understand how they dealt. He saw her, he liked her, he took it. Wasn't no romance, wasn't no wee poo-poo. Would you like to have a lunch, darling? No. Ah, man, that look good. Come here. See, you don't know where you're going when you go to try to visit every damn place. I want to go to this place and I want to go to that place. You may find out that the culture in that place is totally different than what you think. Now, he wasn't courting her. He saw what he wanted and he took it. Go ahead.
And his soul claved unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the damsel and spake kindly unto the damsel.
Yeah, he spake kindly after he took it. You supposed to speak. You see how messed up the culture is? He took her, then spoke kindly unto her. I'm sorry, but you're supposed to speak kindly and then see if she gives it to you. I'm just saying. Read, brother.
And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field. And Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor the father of Shechem went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved. They were very angry.
Right. Consider this was your sister. See, some of us have really hypocritical views when it comes to women. We got views of a woman until it's our sister. Yeah, man, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, look at that hoe. Yeah. Then it's their sister. Hey, man, don't call my sister no hoe. Wait a minute. You just called that sister over there hoe. How your sister not a hoe and his sister a hoe? If his sister a hoe, your sister a hoe too. Right. We hypocrites when it comes to that. Read, man.
Because he had wrought folly in Israel and lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longs for your daughter. I pray you, give her him to wife.
All this conversation should have been had before the deed. See? But see, this is what you get for going in somebody else's land. Well, we want to go over here and see how they live. Yeah, you saw, and he conquered. Go ahead.
And make you marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. And you shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade you therein, and get you possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father,
making it seem like it's going to be prosperous. Go ahead.
And Shechem said unto her father, and unto her brethren, Let me find grace in your eyes, and what you shall say unto me I will give. Ask me neither so much dowry and gift, and I'll give according as you shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife.
I'll pay you whatever you want me to pay. My daddy loaded. We got bread over here. I will pay whatever. What's the price? you negotiating backwards. See, now you done already damaged my property. Now you trying to negotiate. Now the problem is, she got some psychotic brothers. See, before you mess with somebody's daughter, you should probably see how many psychotic individuals she has in her family. Starting first with the daddy. Cause I'd have been passing out guns. Levi, here. Judah, yeah, I'm gonna give you the big one. Yeah, make sure you, yeah, okay, go ahead.
And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Dinah, because he had defiled Dinah their sister, and they said unto them, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you, if you'll be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised, then will we give our daughters unto you, and we'll take your daughters to us, and we'll dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if you will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then will we take our daughter, and we'll be gone. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father.
That's the part that's interesting. The rapist is the most honorable man. So what the hell kind of people were these? The rapist is more honorable than all the other men. Because the rest of them would have just raped her and moved on. That's what that tells you. But see, here we go, want to see how everybody else live. I'm going to go to this country. You might find out that they eat people like you in their country. And you look up and they be like, oh, come to dinner. And you find out,
Oh no, I am the dinner? I didn't know. No. I thought we was gonna eat dinner with you.
yeah, you are. Get in the pot. Right. You better learn to stay at damn home. Go ahead, bro.
And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, these men are peaceable with us, therefore let them dwell in the land, and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters.
Hey, the man was peaceable because you had not raped their daughter, their sister. But once you done crossed that line, you finish. It goes from peace to a piece of your backside. Now, if you about to have a peace, all right, yeah, they were peaceable. But now you done some foulness. And you done operated slick, and now they finna operate slick too. Go ahead.
Only herein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people. If every male among us be circumcised, as they are circumcised. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours?
Now that is the thing. Now you see what they were going to do with their intermarriage? With their intermarriage, they were going to take over all the substance of the children of Israel. Now, he was supposed to be the most honorable, but look at how he convinces his people to enter into these relationships. Go ahead, let's do this. Let's merge with these people. At the end of the day, we're going to own all this stuff. See, we don't pay attention. Like I said before, look at the sports stars. What happened? We get $100 million contract and then turn around and give all $100 million back. Because it ended up going right back into where it came from. Now, remember that part where we said deal wisely, because we're about to get into something. Go to that next graphic. I know Eli done been down here to this place right here.
Georgia Guidestones, the American Stonehenge. On a barren field in Georgia, US 5 granite slabs rise in a star pattern. Each of them weighs over 20 tons, and on top of them, there's a capstone. Nobody knows who built it or why they were placed there. But one popular opinion that their purpose is to guide humanity after a predicted post-apocalyptic event that will come in the not so distant future.
So they know, or they've been preparing for a serious event, And they're directing the people on what to do after this event. And they hid who put it together. This costs an enormous amount of money to put this together. Go ahead.
The huge block sent a message out to the world in 8 different current languages, as well as 4 extinct ones, ancient Greek and Egyptian hieroglyphics. For example, the set of 10 guidelines has baffled people around the world, with descriptions ranging from perfect and utopian to satanic or quirky. But no matter what the case, these 10 commandments should definitely get you thinking.
All right. Now this is where we get interesting, because now they have a different set of commandments that are being given. Go to the next graphic.
Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature.
Okay, stop. Their directive is to have a certain number of people. You know, about 80 to 90% of people have to die off the earth for them to have this number. Understand that. All right. So understand the powers that be, whoever these rich people were that had this put together, automatically have a number as to how many people needs to be removed off the earth. Now, when you decide to remove people, do you remove your people or do you remove some other people? Remember, I think you should get it first. Go ahead.
Guide reproduction wisely.
What was that word?
Wisely.
Let us deal wisely with these people. What was it about? Reproduction. What does they say? Guide reproduction wisely. So the same thing that we find in the beginning of this book, we find the powers that be are pushing the same agenda, saying guide reproduction wisely. This is why they'll hand out birth control pills in our neighborhood, set up abortion clinics in our neighborhood, but that stuff won't be in other places. Go ahead.
Improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language.
Wait a minute. If you're able to do a one world order, you can rule over the people more effectively. And there are other things that's going to lead to this one world government that they got in here too. Go ahead.
Rule passion.
Wait a minute. How you rule passion? How do you rule? If I passionately feel about something, how do you rule over passion? You give somebody an image and tell them what they should be attracted to. Now go back to the images that we talked about on the television. You tell them, you know what? You don't like Keisha. You like James. No, the hell I don't. No, the hell I don't. I said, no, the hell I don't. Look at James. Look at those muscles. I know you're attracted to that. No, I'm not. Go ahead, bro.
Rule passion, faith, tradition.
Rule. These are their instructions. Rule passion, rule faith, rule tradition. These are the new commandments given by the adversary, the devil, to his people. Go ahead.
You know, you got to think about it. One of the things they're talking about trying to alter is what that God gene that we have.
Right. And if you get everybody's blood, you can keep checking. Remember I told y'all they were coming at my blood like it was some kind of commodity? Why y'all keep coming in here? Leo had to run their ass out of here. Don't come in here and take no more blood from him. Get out of here.
Vampires, they taste blood, man.
But then you find out this guy who was immune to COVID, it was his blood. What happened in I Am Legend? It was his blood that was the cure. Go ahead.
Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts.
Fair to who? Remember when they made their constitution, they said all men. But then they were like, oh no, we weren't talking about you. No, you're not a man. You're not a people. We weren't talking about you. Go ahead, bro.
Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court.
Listen, Listen. Let all nations rule internally, but we'll decide if they right or wrong. So give up all your power to one governing body. This is carved here and has been here, and it's their directive. Go ahead.
Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights with social duties.
But what? Back up. Balance personal rights with social duties. Meaning, if you don't do your duty, we remove your personal rights. Hey, what is happening now? Hey, if you don't get this jab, you can't go here. If you don't do it, is your social duty now. We have decided that this is your social duty. So now you cannot do these other things because you have not met your social duty. Go ahead.
That's the danger that people don't see of blockchain and cryptocurrency. Because now we're keeping a track of everything you do.
Everything. Everything. Go ahead.
Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite.
Who the hell is that? Who the hell is that? Who is the infinite? Are you infinite? What about you? You infinite? I didn't say impotent. I said infinite. He's like, I'm not impotent either. What you talking about? Hold on now. Baby, come in here and talk to these fools. Hey, come on in. What, you had something, brother? What you got?
All this stuff right here is masonry.
Of course it is.
All that's masonry, especially rule your passions, because in the book of masonry it says subdue your passion, but here it says rule your passion.
Uh-huh.
Infinite, that's the G in the middle of the thing.
Right.
Going infinitely. All that's masonry.
Uh-huh. Well, how is the whole city of Washington set up? What is it? Straight masonry.
Mm-hmm.
And they all
So
the devil.
they are most definitely trying to rule the earth, and they are using their associations to do so, and making laws to protect what they're going to do. Consider something. When those people came and burnt down Black Wall Street and everything in it, you realize that they then passed law. Those people had insurance. They passed a law that said you cannot rebuild on burned land. Guess what? They were the ones that set it on fire. So none of those people got their insurance claims paid when they barrel bombed them. They got in planes and dropped barrel bombs down in that area of Black Wall Street, burnt all the city and everybody in it. Then passed a law to protect the evil that they had done, to make sure that those people would never rebuild again. But here we go. Obey the laws of the land. Shut up, Step and Fetch It. Shut up. Read, man.
Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature.
Leave room for nature. Kill out all these bush people so we can have more room for bushes. Right. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5. Right. See, I'm taking away your rights for your own good. Well, I don't feel very good. I don't feel that. Matthew chapter 5, and let's start at verse 17. We're going to read verses 17 through 26.
Think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I'm not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
But the adversary has come to destroy the law because he has offered a whole new set of commandments. Why was it 10? He could have offered 5. It could have been 7. It could have been 8. It could have been 20. Why was it 10? Go ahead.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
But They are setting up a whole new. They said this is supposed to guide them after an apocalyptic event. So after this event, pay attention to our commandments, and we're going to put them in stone. Sit on that. Let it marinate. Let it marinate. Let it marinate. Why did they put it in stone? Go ahead, Priest Eliel.
What you just mentioned about Lucifer, and his perversion, because Yahweh says to be fruitful and multiply, and as we see that he's decreasing the population, just doing the totally opposite.
Right, and but what's even more sinister, they only want to decrease certain people.
Yeah.
See, it ain't like where we need to equally put everybody on the earth. No. They were like, we need to kill a whole lot of them. Nim. Whenever it's nim, know that's you. Go ahead.
But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. You have heard that it was said by them of old time, you shall not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
Right. It's a lot of judgment that's going to have to come around here, because it's a whole lot of anger, and people think that their anger is justified. See, you justify your anger based on what has happened according to the law against you. All that, they said, and then they came at me, and then they looked at me. Hey, man, that don't hold in the court of law, especially now Yahshua's court of law. You can't show up in the Yahshua's court of law with a bunch of feelings and a bunch of I think, I feels, and I believes. That ain't gonna work. As Yahshua said, who convinces me of sin? Show me the law that I broke concerning you. Otherwise, case dismissed. Yahshua's not going to officiate over a bunch of feelings. Go ahead.
And whosoever shall say to his brother, Reka, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, you fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar, and there remembers that your brother has aught against you.
You know your brother got aught against you because you know what you did to him. See, we act like we done forgot about something. What we do is we wait a long time and hope it just dissipate and go away. But you remember what you did. Go ahead.
Leave there your gift before the altar.
Right, because you have already tarnished your offering by acting like you don't know what you did to your brother. Go ahead.
And go your way. First be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift.
Then come and offer your gift. Let's go to Romans chapter 8.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 1. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in the Mashiach Yahshua, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For the law of the Spirit of life in the Mashiach Yahshua has made me free from the law of sin and death.
All right, what is the law of sin and death?
Animal sacrifice.
Animal sacrifice. The law of sin and death. Whenever there's sin, some animal had to die to make atonement for the wrong that was committed. That is the law of sin and death. If you don't understand that, then this whole chapter is about to get foggy. It's going to get real foggy. See? And people will start to teach you anything because you don't understand what the law of sin and death is. Go ahead.
For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh.
Oh, see, now they're like, you see that? See, the law was weak. We ain't got to follow no law. You see that? See that, baby? That's why we go to church on Sunday. See? Because the law was done, the law was weak. See? It was weak law. You know, I don't even know why he made it.
He talking about animal sacrifice. But if you don't know what the law of sin and death is, you have now attached that to every bit of law. Go ahead.
Elohim sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death.
Right. Those other commandments show you the carnality of man and the direction that man is pushing in. So to be carnal minded is death. Go ahead.
But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against Elohim. For it is not subject to the law of Elohim, neither indeed can be.
Check that out. The carnal mind don't believe it's subject to the law. I ain't got to follow none of that. We ain't got to do that. Once saved, always saved. Go ahead.
So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Elohim. But you are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit, if so be that the Spirit of Elohim dwell in you. Now if any man have not the Spirit of the Mashiach, he is none of his. And if the Mashiach be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Spirit is life because of righteousness. But if the Spirit of him that raised up Yahshua from the dead, verse 11, but if the Spirit of him that has raised up Yahshua from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up the Mashiach from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his Spirit that dwells in you. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors, not to the flesh, to live after the flesh. For if you live after the flesh, you shall die. But if you through the Spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, you shall live. For as many as are led by the Spirit of Elohim, they are the sons of Elohim. For you have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear.
Now, people will come at you with this and tell you that, anytime you're going to go back in that law, you're trying to get in that bondage.
See, that's what, that law ain't nothing but bondage. Right there. You ain't got no business dealing with no law.
Animal sacrifice. After a sinless man has been sacrificed, there's no animal that's going to suffice. You can't find no goat that's going to be better than a man. What lamb you going to find better than a man? We can't offer a better sacrifice. Go ahead.
But you have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of Elohim. And if children, then heirs, heirs of Elohim, and joint heirs with the Mashiach. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together.
Right. But what the nations want to do is make sure that you are not able to seize on your inheritance. Go ahead.
For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature waits for the manifestation of the sons of Elohim.
Right. It's going to throw y'all off when Euro Gentiles walk up to you and say, we waiting on y'all. The earth is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of Elohim. Yet people tell you, had a brother send us a video. They said they done found the lost tribes of Israel. And then off the plane come a bunch of Orientals. Chayang, Shabbat Shalom. Read, man.
For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who has subjected the same in hope. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of Elohim. For we know that the whole creation groans and travails in pain together until now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man sees, why does he yet hope for it? But if we hope for what we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. Likewise, the Spirit also helps our infirmities. For we know not what we should pray for as we ought. But the Spirit itself makes intercessions for us with groanings which cannot be uttered.
Right. So we make the prayers that we attempt to make, and then the Spirit come in and adjust your prayer. Now you can't get no better protection than that. That you sitting over there praying for something, and then the angel said, Yahweh, disregard that. He's stupid. He's stupid. He's stupid. Look, he need this, and this right here. And he need this right here taken away. He don't know no better. Yahweh, you know he's stupid. I don't know why you chosen. I don't know why you chosen. Because he is quite the dumbest one that I've seen on this earth yet. But it's somebody that you deal with, so I deal with him because you deal with him. But this is what he needs. And that, my friend, is glorious. I need an angel to tell me, you know what, Sock, that was stupid. That's love. When you get the right counterpart in your life, your woman will tell you, baby, don't do that. That don't make no damn sense. I love you, but that's stupid. Now, I might get mad right away. What? And then later on, I'll be like, you know what? That was stupid. Let's move on. All right. Go ahead, bro.
And he that searches the hearts knows what is the mind of the Spirit, because he makes intercession for the saints according to the will of Elohim.
He makes intercession according to the will of Elohim. So, here it is. He takes your prayer, adjusts your prayer, makes your... It's like having a proofreader. When you do what you're supposed to do, you have a righteous proofreader. So even some of that stupid stuff that you said, Yahweh ain't even hear it because the angel took care of it.
Scratch out line 4. I'm not even going to say this to you because you probably going to kill him if you hear it.
That's love. See, we don't even know how to recognize love when it's in the room. That's love. He kept you from getting killed. Read, man.
And we know that all things work together for good to them that love Elohim, to them who are the called according to his purpose. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, them he also glorified. What shall we then say to these things? If Elohim be for us, who can be against us?
If Elohim be for us, who can be against us? And we have to keep that mindset even when it look like we in the losing part of the battle. If Elohim is with us, who can be against us? You keep swinging. You swing to the end. You do not give up, even though it look like you are greatly outnumbered. You keep swinging. You carry the holy name of the God of Israel. Go ahead.
He that spared not his own Son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? Who shall lay anything to the charge of Elohim's elect? It is Elohim that justifies. Who is he that condemneth? It is the Mashiach that died, yea, rather, that is risen again, who is even at the right hand of Elohim, who also makes intercessions for us. Who shall separate us from the love of the Mashiach? Shall tribulation?
Some people, soon as they suffer tribulation, they are separated from the love of the Mashiach. Soon as they suffer anything, they out. That's all you got to do to separate some. Give them any kind of trouble. Go ahead.
Or distress. Or persecution.
Oh, I'm sad. I can't worship when I'm sad. I'm hurt can't worship when I'm hurt. My feelings. It's these feelings. I can't do this when my feelings is hurt. I would serve you, Yahweh. But they said something I didn't like. When? I said, Yahweh, when?
Right. Read, man.
Or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword. As it is written, for your sake we are killed all the day long.
Uh-huh. Man, people died just for us to have a book. And then we go whining about anything. They said this. They upset me. Man, people died so you can have a book. Go ahead, bro.
We are counted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us.
Oh, now you'll hear this one right here.
We are more than conquerors. We are.
Oh, and they say it so good.
We are more than conquerors.
Right. And as soon as they go through any tribulation, they the first one to take out running. But we more than conquerors. What are you conquering?
I'm gonna conquer from down the street. I'm out.
Right. Read, man.
For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Elohim, which is in the Mashiach Yahshua, our Adonai.
That's the real servants. Nothing is going to be able to separate them. They don't let something come in and separate them from the love of the Mashiach. See? They don't allow it. Anything that look like it come in and separate them, they get rid of it. I don't care if it's a house, a car, a woman, a man. Hey, it look like you trying to sit in my God seat. I'm going to warn you not to sit there. Because I eject anybody who try to sit in my God's chair. Now this is your last, first, and final warning. Don't sit there. Let's go to Daniel chapter 3. Daniel chapter 3, and let's read verses 1 through 7.
Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold, whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces, to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
Right. So when these people get ready, and as they have passed their mandates, they gather together all the so-called important people and have them speak openly about dealing with it. You notice how many black celebrities are on commercials and things telling us to take this jab? Has anybody noticed you don't see a whole bunch of Gentiles doing that? Hank Aaron got on TV, talked about the jab. A week later, he was dead. They said,
Oh, he died of unnaturalness.
what? What the hell y'all talking about?
Oh, no, it was a breakthrough.
Oh, yeah, it broke through. You don't hear about him no more. Mum's the word. But we're sitting out there telling everybody, hey, so what they do, they get the important people to stand out. Hey, this is a new law. Now I need you to go out and help us promote this law. Now stand there and just agree with us. Just nod. Just nod. That's all we need you to do. Go ahead.
Then the princes, the governors and captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together onto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
Right. And they operate the same way now. They do the same thing. We have something, we are going to set this up, and everybody need to take part in it. And we want all the important people to stand here and promote it. It operates the same way. Think back to some of the commercials and you see them all lined up. They coming out one by one saying how you should agree with this. And it's your fault. You are causing the damage. See, there's damage being caused because you won't do your civic duty. Wage or weigh personal rights according to your duties as members of society. So if you don't do this, you don't get to do that. Go ahead.
You know, I've been looking at this whole thing. When you look at it, how they, like you say, they're pushing it, they're putting all these celebrities. But you also see a low time in the media as well. Because if you're somebody who's against it, outspoken, well known, let you pass away in a famous author who was against the jab is now dead.
Right.
I'm like, this is an all-time low for news. It's this back and forth thing going on with the news.
You know, there's this one thing that we didn't really pay attention to. You know how a lot of times you'll go through YouTube and you'll see these videos and they're talking about all the negative things that people have to do to be in Hollywood. And you say, well, if that was true, why hasn't anybody else said anything? That's our first question. Now, when that guy who was a part of, he was in the little movie, The Goonies, and he said there's absolutely foulness going on in Hollywood, and they would have these child parties where they would invite the children and do all kinds of things. He said he could not speak of it because he would be the one in jeopardy. Now, how? There's a non-disclosure agreement that is signed, and it is passed around in Hollywood like candy. Now, if y'all notice, Beyonce actually said it in one of her songs. If you gonna party with the queen, you gonna sign an NDA. It is in a song. So what happens? What we do tonight, you can't talk about. So everybody coming in the door, get a piece of paper. You talk about what happened tonight, you get sued. That's how the stuff stays under the table in Hollywood. For Beyonce to sing about, if you're gonna party with the queen, you're gonna sign one of these. So whatever we do here, it will not show up in the tabloids. Check that out. Go ahead, bro.
And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Verse 4. Then an herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages.
To you, O people, nations, and languages. Remember, everything need to come together under a world court. This is the agenda. Go ahead.
That at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. And whosoever falls not down and worships shall the same, verse 6, and whoso falls not down and worships shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace.
If you don't agree to this mandate, we gonna charge you extra. We gonna charge your spouse extra. You can't go down here to the market. You can't go down here to the movies. You can't go here. Go ahead.
Therefore at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshiped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
Now, you know how there's an interesting part. It says languages. Hey, it's real easy for you to speak another language, but you understand music. Oh, that's the music. You ain't got to know every word of it. You just got to know, hey, when you hear El Songo, you bow or you die. Understand though? See. Let's go to chapter 7. It's real easy to understand. You do or you die. I do, sir. All right, there it is. Daniel chapter 7, and let's start at verse 15.
I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me, and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom, and possess the kingdom forever.
The saints of the Most High will take the kingdom. We ain't gonna come and sing outside the doors, and then the kingdom gonna be given to us. We ain't gonna poetry our way to the kingdom. The saints of the Most High is going to have to take the kingdom, because the wicked ain't just gonna give it up. Go ahead.
Even forever and ever. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows.
So the adversary, the devil, is using the nations to war against us. Go ahead.
I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them. Until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High.
Judgment was given. See, this is the very thing that we run from. Soon as somebody try to correct us or fix something, we take off running. We got an attitude problem. Let me tell you, it's the judgment that comes that is going to set us in the rightful order that we're supposed to be in. So why do you take off running when judgment comes? Go ahead.
You know, even when verse 21, it says, and they prevailed against them until the Ancient of Days came. So that means, hey, you're going to have to go through this and you're going to be losing.
Exactly. What did my brother say the other night? He that endures. See, our problem is we can't endure. We want to live in luxury the whole time. We want to live in luxury before Yahshua get here and when Yahshua get here. Go ahead.
And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces.
Hold on. Hey, Elijah, if you have to, man, if you can adjust that one, you good? All right. Apparently I'm going too long in the camera. Like,
You need to get something together, man. This damn too damn long. Camera done got hot. Hell going on in here. That's what happens when you get a dude all week to make up a class. He just keep going and going and going.
And the 10 horns out of his kingdom are the kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them. And he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
Right. He speak great words against the Most High because they got their own set of commandments. You can't get no worse than that. I'm going to erase your commandments and make our own. That's great swelling words of vanity against the Most High. That his commandments became suggestions and yours became real. Go ahead.
You know, earlier you were saying you keep swinging. What it says, it's going to wear out the saints of the Most High.
Right.
And think to change times and laws.
Think to change times and laws, which is exactly what's happening. They protect themselves with their law. Hey, it's a law. And then we've been fed that thing. Obey the laws of the land now. You want to be a good slave, don't you? You want to be a good slave. All right? You want to be a good slave. You don't want to serve master, don't you? All right then. All right then. They're going to follow this law. Now it's a new law. They just made it. Just fresh, hot off the presses. Yes, it is. Now go ahead and follow this now. Man, the people that pass the law don't even know what the hell it is. Damn law be 2,200 pages. Do you think that idiot of a dude that we see on TV talking about America, that dude ain't read 2,200 pages? need 22 of them. He don't even know what's in it. Somebody wrote it for him. But here comes Jake. Obey the laws of the land. Obey the laws of the land. You don't even know what the hell the law of the land is. Go ahead, bro.
And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and dividing of time.
Where you at? You finished that?
Verse 25. End of verse 25.
All right, let's go to Revelation chapter 13. It's always us fighting for some stuff that we don't even understand.
You know, my brother, even with the obeying the laws of the land, it all depends on what
law of the land you talking about?
and what state you in.
Well, here's the problem. What is the supreme law of the land? The Constitution. So any law that's made that's not right is a violation of the Constitution. But somebody have to fight it, and then it gets ruled this law is unconstitutional. But you know what they don't do? They don't go back and get everybody who was punished by the unjust law that was now made unconstitutional. Now all them people got to start their fight over again. You just said that the law was unjust. You locked me up for an unjust law. I should be automatically free.
No, you got to start your case over. We'll listen to it now. We'll listen. Because it has been ruled unconstitutional. So let us start over and let us hear your case. Meanwhile, stay in cell block 4.
And these people are wicked. Revelation chapter 13, let's start at verse 1.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
So no matter what, these nations are blaspheming against Yahweh our Elohim, and they are going to do what they have to do to keep the children of Israel subdued. Even though they may go against each other, they still have the common focus of keeping the foot on the neck of the children of Israel. Because if you stand up, their rule ends. Go ahead.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority.
So when you deal with Alexander the Great, he conquered the earth in record time, in speed, like a leopard. Go ahead.
And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Elohim, to blaspheme his name, and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them.
It was given unto him, unto them to make war with the saints. The nations are warring with us. They are following the directive of the adversary, the devil, their father. Go ahead.
And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him. Whoso's names are not written in the book of the life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He that kills with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Jump to verse 14.
And deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
Right. And you know what it says? The Greeks seek after knowledge. The children of Israel seek after a sign. So you give us something to see, and it's a done deal. The right technology shows them a magic trick. I saw heaven open, and the fire came down into my living room. Done deal. We worshiping it. Done deal. Go ahead.
saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
So right now, we are getting to the point of, if you don't do certain things, you are losing your personal rights. But it ain't going to end there. Go ahead.
And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Now, there's certain people, and Leah was just telling me about some of those things. She showed me some pictures. It made me itch. About some of the people that got that jab, and they start getting rashes coming from the jab site going all the way up. And they just tell you, don't worry about it. It's just a rash. A rash is an indication that something is not going correct in my body. And it didn't happen until you gave me that thing. Go ahead.
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
And understand, we're starting to get all kind of restrictions. If you haven't done this, you can't do that. It's only a matter of time before it moves to the point of you not being able to purchase certain things. They're trying to put out a vaccine passport. We might as well go back to freedom papers. Hey, boss, eyes free. Here's my paper right here. Master Johnson let me off plantation. Go ahead, bro.
Here's wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
All right, let's go to Luke chapter 20. And we're going to read verses 9 through 18.
Verse 9. Then began he to speak to the people this parable. A certain man planted a vineyard and led it forth to husbandmen, and went into a far country for a long time. And at the season he sent a servant to the husbandmen, that they should give him of the fruit of the vineyard. But the husbandmen beat him and sent him away empty.
Right. That's what happened. You come to give the children of Israel the word, and they beat you. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Hit him. Go ahead.
And again he sent another servant, and they beat him also.
What? That's Israel. Don't prophesy to us no right things. Prophesy to us smooth things. I want you to say niceness. Say nice stuff all the time. If you don't say nice stuff all the time, then you don't have no love in you. You ain't no loving person. You just hateful. He said, look, if y'all don't fix this, he gonna kill all us. He said, well, let's just kill him, and then we ain't got to worry about it. That's Israel's take on it. Go ahead, brother.
And entreated him shamefully, and sent him away empty. And again he sent a third, and they wounded him also, and cast him out. Then said the master of the vineyard, what shall I do? I will send my beloved son. It may be they will reverence him when they see him. But when the husbandmen saw him, they reasoned among themselves, saying, this is the heir.
Right. Remember the little congregation of Joseph's brothers? They saw him afar off, and they got together. Hey, this dreamer cometh. They already was conspiring against. That was a foreshadowing of the Messiah, the Savior of Israel. So them brothers was Israel. Hey, here he come. Let's throw him into a pit. Go ahead.
This is the heir. Come, let us kill him, that the inheritance may be ours.
This is what the nation is trying to do to you. If they can kill off the holy seed, then they can seize on your inheritance. Go ahead.
So they cast him out of the vineyard and killed him. What therefore shall the master of the vineyard do unto them? He shall come and destroy these husbandmen, and shall give the vineyard to others. And when they heard it, they said, Elohim forbid.
Right. What happened? We didn't deal with the things right. Yahweh ejected us out of the land and let somebody else live in it. We were already given a warning because somebody else had the land before we had it. Go ahead.
And he beheld them and said, What is this then that is written? The stone which the builders rejected, the same has become the head of the corner. Whosoever shall fall upon on that stone shall be broken, but on whomsoever it shall fall, it will grind him to powder.
All right. Let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to Yohanan chapter 15. John chapter 15. And we're going to start that at verse 1. See, their objective is to kill off the heir so they can seize on the inheritance. And if they've killed the Messiah, killing us don't mean nothing. Go ahead.
I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that bears not fruit, he takes away.
If it is not profitable, he takes it away. So you have to look. Sometimes people think that they've done their job until you get somebody else in that job, and then you see, look at how fruitful it is. Look at how many people are now working. Look at how many people are now doing these things. Then you understand, hey, you weren't doing your job right because it wasn't fruitful when you did it. Go ahead.
And every branch that bears fruit, he purges it, that it may bring forth more fruit.
Right. But when we start going through purging, because now Yahweh is trying to make it so that it brings more fruit, we revolt. Because we want to stay in our little closed cliques. You ain't going to perform the way Yahweh wants you to, staying in some kind of closed clique. Yahweh may teach us the word and then send us way over here somewhere. Go ahead.
Now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can you except you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abides in me, and I in him, the same bring forth much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch, and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burnt. If you abide in me, and my words abide in you, you shall ask what you will, and it shall be done unto you. Herein is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit, so shall you be my disciples. As the Father have loved me, so have I loved you. Continue you in my love. If you keep my commandments...
Wait a minute now. Lucifer done gave his people a totally different set of commandments. So, are we going to follow those things that are orchestrated by the nations? Or are we going to follow the things that were given us by Yahweh our Elohim? Because you can't serve Yahweh and man. You going to have to make a decision. And that's what we famous for doing. Having one foot in the word and another foot in the street. And think Yahweh gonna justify that. And he see what you're doing. 1 minute we show ourselves to be a Hebrew. The next minute we want to be thugged out. You got to figure out which one of these damn things you gonna be. That's why my elder threw me on the television program. He's like, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. And then he called me, oh God, you, come here, sit down. Who the hell you talking to? No, I'm here to sweep. I'm see the broom. I'm here to sweep. I'm not here to be on television. No, come sit down. Worst television show I ever was a part of in my life. I stunk. But what was he doing? He said, see, this is that thing. He said, I'm going to make it so you can't hide.
Mm-hmm.
I said, hide? Why would I hide? No. See, I'm going to put your face out there. And people going to see your face. So you're going to have to make a decision whether you're going to walk in righteousness or you're going to keep being a thug. Right. Read, bro.
Verse 10. If you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends, if you do whatsoever I command you. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knows not what his master does, but I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you. You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you, that you should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever you shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you. These things I command you, that you love one another. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before Verse 18, if the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hates you.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the word that I said unto you.
Remember that it hated me before it hated you. So if you do the things that you're supposed to do, the world gonna hate you. But are we trying to make friends with the world? See, this is my friend, and I don't want to upset my friend. So if I do too much righteousness around them, they're gonna think me to be weak, So I gotta still project this thug image, So I'm gonna walk around with a blunt, but I ain't smoking nothing. But I just want to look this, I want to play the part, you know what I'm saying? My elder saw it on me from a mile away. So when I see it, I know what the hell I'm looking at. Why? Because somebody saw it on me. Read, man.
Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his master. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin. But now they have no cloak for their sin.
Right. Because we have been educated in the word, you have no protection. See, the dumb man can say, I was dumb. I don't know nothing. Ain't nobody taught. I've not learned it, sir. I'm not learned it. I don't know nothing. But then we profess how much we know, which makes you double guilty. Because you know. That means you're sinning with intelligence. You know what you're supposed to be doing, but you're not doing it. That makes sin exceedingly sinful. See, when we didn't know, you just didn't know. That's ignorance. But when you've been raised in this word, you know exactly what the hell you ain't doing. When you've been taught this word, you know exactly what the hell you're supposed to be doing. And those that stand by and let you do it, Yahweh gonna deal with their ass too. Go ahead, bro.
He that hates me hates my Father also. If I had not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not had sin. But now have they both seen and hated both me and my Father. But this comes to pass, that the word might be fulfilled that is written in their law. They hated me without a cause.
They hated me without a cause. Provide your cause. Produce the law that you believe that he broke against you. You got hatred against your brother? Prove your cause. Produce it. Open the law and show me what was done. Other than that, get the hell out of my office. Y'all ain't finna deal with no whole bunch of feelings. Produce your cause. See, what we forget is when we take on jobs and positions, you took a vow to do a job. Oh, there's a cause there. Didn't you take on this? Well, how the hell you gonna do it if you ain't here? You done violated your vow. Go ahead, bro.
My bad, man. I'm still going back to verse 23. 22. So, like, when we talk to people, and they choose to be like, oh man, I don't want to hear whatever you're gonna say. Comes to judgment that they can't make no excuse or nothing.
You damn right. Verse 22. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin. When you have been taught, you are held responsible. That's why people be like, I want to hear it. Because see, if I don't know it, then that way I can't be held responsible. So then they want to play stupid. We have the most intelligent dumb people you have ever run into in your life. 1 minute, we intelligent. Next minute, we dumb as a box of rocks. Because we think being dumb and stupid is going to protect us from judgment. It ain't going to protect you. Because he knows when he brought the truth to you. He knows who he sent. He knows what you were taught. And you're going to be dealt with accordingly. Go ahead, brother.
But when the comforters come, whom I will send on to you from the Father, even the Spirit of truth, which proceeds from the Father, he shall testify of me.
Man, I know my teacher was a dynamite teacher. So anytime I go and try to act like whatever, I know Yahweh gonna stick his whole holy foot off in my... He know what he presented to me. How I'm gonna act? Go ahead, bro.
And you also shall bear witness, because you have been with me from the beginning.
All right, that's all that we're going to do for today. Remember to get your Old Farmer's Almanac so that we can go through our holy days. All right, you can get that on almanac.com for free, or you can go and get the book. But if you go download it, you're going to have to keep switching back, or you go and print it out. We starting that on Wednesday. So don't be looking at me all glossy-eyed that you ain't got your stuff. I done already said it. It is what it is. Have your stuff so we can start going over these days. All right? That's all we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.